Welcome to Booming Your Bottom Line, a weekly podcast on how to find, serve, and keep local boomer consumers as your customers. If you are a small business owner, then this podcast is for you. Hosted by Mark Hager, CEO of Age in Place Networks, publisher of AgeInPlace.com, and expert consultant in the boomer consumer industry. And Aaron Murphy, architect, certified Aging in Place specialist, national speaker, and published author on Aging in Place. These two small business owners are going to help you learn what you need to know and step by step what you need to do to grow your company through serving the rapidly growing older consumer niche. Now, get ready to supercharge your business.
Hi again and welcome. This is Booming Your Bottom Line. I'm Aaron Murphy, and with me is my co-host, Mark Hager.
Hello.
So Mark and I are here today to share great news and information with you every single week. In our last Booming Your Bottom Line episode, we covered a ton of information about how to create content for your website that will give your visitors a reason to come back and help you get better rankings in a social media search. We also had a free action guide for you that included a basic editorial calendar, along with some ways to track your keywords and article ideas. And as a bonus surprise last week, you got a content creation cheat sheet to help make sure that your articles and pages get optimized properly. This week, we're keeping that digital theme going. We're talking about how to practically approach social media for your business. We're going to show you how to focus your effort, be more efficient so it takes less time and you'll get more out of it for your company.
Right. So before we get to that, though, we'd like to say a quick thank you to everyone who contacted us this week. We appreciate all the tweets and posts on Facebook as well as the emails. Please keep your questions coming, and thank you so much for telling other people about the show. You're truly making a difference and keeping us motivated. So keep up the great work, and if you want to send us a note, you can reach us at smallbusiness@ageinplace.com. Now, if you missed last week's show, be sure to go back to our archive shows at ageinplace.com/smallbusiness to get caught up, or you can subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher.
So to get us started here today, let's talk about the true goals of social media for you and your small business. Now, we all know that professionals and celebrities say that you must use social media for your business. And although we agree that it's an important part of your marketing efforts, you need to understand the real why so that you can apply your efforts to things that are going to help you meet those goals.
Exactly.
Okay, Kanye is a great example. I don't know if you watch the Grammys or the Emmys or whatever it was, but point is, bad publicity is not good publicity, okay? So we don't want you to turn into the next Kanye West. So we want you to understand why you do social media, and no, not any exposure is good exposure. So let's make sure we're getting good exposure. Right. Goal number 1, get traffic to your website. This is a business building. Mm-hmm. The more inbound links means better ranking in a search. The more people coming to your site means more potential customers to come in contact with your company. Goal number 2, spread brand and awareness of your brand. This is more than just people hearing about you. Your social media posts also show people what you and your company are about, what you care about, and what problems you help them solve as a potential customer.
Absolutely.
Goal number 3, be seen as an expert. We talked about this in great detail in another episode, but being seen as an expert or a leader in your industry will build credibility and trust. That's even more true when you focus at least some of your effort on the concerns and the people in your local community. So philanthropy and tying your business to doing good.
Right.
Goal number 4 is to build a virtual community. People gathering around your brand through sharing of your content is the first step toward having fans that will spread your brand awareness for you. This means referring their friends and social contacts to your business.
Right, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the differences between a social network and social media. Now, okay. a social network is a platform, the social site itself. For instance, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, those are all examples of the platform. Now, social media are the actual messages on those networks that are shared, all the tweets and posts that everyone makes. Now, the reason we want to clarify that is because your social media posts, things that you post, mean something different to your business than the posts that are made by someone else. Okay, to clarify, it's commonly accepted that there are 3 types of social media exposure. Now the first type is owned social media. These are the posts that you make. When you post a link to your website, to an article that you wrote, you own that post. You're responsible for the traffic. And although you are or may become a trusted source of information, in your social network, that post was initiated by you. So it has a different bearing, which leads us to the second type, which is earned social media. Right. This is when someone else reposts something that you put up on Twitter or Facebook or what have you, or of their own accord, they post a link to your website. Okay, now since this post was done by someone other than you, it will be more trusted, in theory, by the people in their network than something that you as the business owner posted. Okay? Yeah. Now the final kind of social media is one we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about, and that's paid social media. This is where you pay to advertise on a social network, like ads on Facebook or Twitter. Now you would only want to use this if you had the rest of your house in order. And by that I mean your websites, your offers, your call to actions, essentially your entire digital funnel working like it needs to be. Otherwise, you're going to be wasting your money. So, just so you know, if anyone comes to try to sell you that, you just tell them no thank you, maybe later, because you've got some other things that you need to deal with right now.
Good point. Yeah. So the main thing you need to know is that earned social media is that best kind for you to get and to have. It means people like what you're doing, trust your insights and your judgments, and are starting to see you as an expert. It can also mean that they value the information that you're providing enough to share it. Exactly. That's a pretty big deal. Mm-hmm. Those votes of confidence not only influence the people that read messages and links in the post, but also have a bearing on your search ranking. Mm-hmm. Okay, so those links that come into your website from social networking shares and those kinds of things count toward your ranking. Now, how do you earn those votes of confidence? It's by becoming a trusted source of information on that social network. That means posting things that are interesting, entertaining, educational, and enlightening, okay, or any combination of those things. Mm-hmm. Links to the articles that resonate with your customers and other people that follow you or about your industry, those are great places for you to start as far as the types of things you want to be posting. When you post a link to an article, add a little insight or your own 2 cents, your opinion about it. For example, let's say you provide transportation services as your business. You find an article about how most metropolitan areas don't have enough public transportation for older people, and you want to post that. Your social media post might read something like this. Good thing Springfield ranks a little higher than most of these cities in transportation for seniors, and then place the link to the article. Or, thank heavens we have senior transportation services here in Springfield. Our older citizens would be, or otherwise our older citizens would be in trouble. Okay, and then the link.
Right, that's perfect. Now, one of the questions I get asked a lot is what social networks work best for small business? Mm-hmm. My answer to people almost always is, well, where are your customers? Of course, most people won't know that, in reality, even how well they can reach their customers on a certain social network. So I'm going to tell you what I believe, and this is probably would be considered heresy by professional social media people, but I'm going to go ahead and stick my neck out.
Good.
Social networks are a tool, and like any tool, it has a job to do. And that job is what we covered earlier, getting traffic to your site, being seen as a leader in your community, getting inbound links, etc. Now, in my world, social networking is good for part of that job and works hand in hand with a lot of other things that we've been talking about in this podcast, such as your website, local search ranking, local marketing, community involvement, etc. Now, all of these things work together to help you accomplish your business goals. More revenue, educating your clients, a better customer experiences. And if at any time one of your tools do not contribute toward those goals, then it's time to stop using that tool.
Fair.
So now back to the original question of which social networks to use. Generally, I tell people to start out with Twitter and Facebook, And probably most people that are even listening to this podcast, they already do that.
Mm-hmm.
But where people fall short is the next part, and that is you have to build a plan. And we're going to get to that in a minute of how you do that. So you build that plan, you execute the plan, and you see how it works. If one of the social networks that you've picked isn't performing, then maybe you cut back there, or stop using it altogether and try another network like Instagram or Pinterest or something like that.
Good point. Yeah, and we can talk about metrics of performance at some other time. What does it mean to perform? But you'd have to set some goals and then track that. So now let's talk about how to do social networking for your business. The two most important pieces of advice you'll ever get about social media for your company are build a plan for only what you can handle and be consistent with your effort.
Absolutely.
By a plan, we mean set a goal for yourself for how much you can post each week. Is twice a day enough? 3 times? Twice a week? There's no right answer for this except the one that you can provide for yourself. It's about how much you can commit to.
Right.
So I'll tell you, the more you post, the more likely it is that people will see those posts. But you're only going to learn from trial and error that there's some balance in that. You don't want to overpost, blah blah blah. So. Right. Your plan should include the types of things you want to post, how often, and to what networks. It should also include a mix of your own material and references to your sites and your insights, and things you share from other people that are in your industry and in your expertise, things you care about. You want to share these networks and articles that you find online interesting and relevant, and what you do related to you and your customer. A valid social media plan might be something like this. I'm going to post 3 times a day. That's 26 posts a week. I will repost 2 things someone else posted and 1 article I found online each day. And up to 5 times during a week, I'll post a link that links you back to my own website with an article or a blog I wrote or a video that I did.
Right. So finally, let's get down to how to make this easier for you, because this is where we find a lot of business owners are struggling. They want to use social networking for their business. Maybe they do a pretty good job of finding articles to share, but the time is an issue for them. It's hard for them to be consistent because they feel like they always have to be online. They feel like they're setting aside time to do it is difficult. So the answer to that is to use a tool. Use a service to help you do your social media posts. A tool like Sprout Social, Hootsuite, or a host of others, these are going to empower you to not only be more responsive when people, message you on or mention you on a social media post, but it's also going to help you get the work done in less time. Now, the biggest thing that you're going to love about using a tool is that they are going to allow you to schedule your posts ahead of time. All right? Now, that means that you can sit down when you have some time. You can find some stuff that you want to repost or articles that you want to post on your own website and you want to link to, and you can schedule them in the tool, and then you can walk away. So realistically, what this means is that in 20 or 25 minutes every few days, you could have your week covered for the number of social media posts that you want to put out.
Right. Yeah, and that's a good point to recognize that it can sound overwhelming without a plan and without tools. So I really like being able to schedule my posts.
Me too.
And the point is that, you can get to it when you can get to it. And that might be 10 o'clock at night, but it'll look like you're posting at 9 and noon and 3 the next day.
Right.
Okay. So let's pause here and call that a wrap on this particular subject matter in this episode. Thanks for tuning in. If you find our podcast is valuable, drop us an email at smallbusiness@ageandplace.com. And when you do, let us know how we're doing, what you might like to hear more about, or even roadblocks you're having in your personal business. We'd like to cover those subjects for you so we can help you out. And please do go to iTunes, search Booming Your Bottom Line, and leave us a star rating, hopefully a 5, and a written review. That really helps encourage us and motivate us to keep going on this for you, give you resources for free that improve your business, and the ratings help other people find us too.
Absolutely. Well, and just as a reminder, make sure you check out the small business section on agentplace.com, and don't forget to sign up for the newsletter there. It's in the sign-up boxes on the right-hand sidebar. And we told you that we've been regularly sending out tips and information in the newsletter that we can't get to in the podcast. So you don't want to miss that. The last couple of newsletters that we've sent out has had some really good information in it. And if you're on Twitter, you can follow us. You can reach me at Age and Place Pros and Aaron at Aaron D. Murphy. Have a fantastic week, everyone. Be well, be blessed, and boom your bottom line.
Thanks so much for listening to Booming Your Bottom Line with Mark Hager and Aaron Murphy. To learn more about starting, building, and growing a local business that profits in the older consumer niche, just visit the website at agentplace.com/smallbusiness. And don't forget to sign up for the newsletter while you're there. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can email us at smallbusiness@agentplace.com. Fill out the contact form on the website or give us a ring at 865-236-1247. Booming Your Bottom Line is a joint venture of agentplace.com and Empowering the Mature Mind.